Hey guys, Captain Smash, bringing you another blog post. Today's blog post is about supersetting. Supersetting is an intensity technique that is designed to not only improve the speed that you work out, but it also increases the amount of work that you can do in a short amount of time. So I love supersets. We use supersets a lot in the lab simply because they're a time saver. We can get a lot more done in an hour than simply like 5 or 6 exercises maybe. Maybe we're up to 10. So I use this a lot in women's training because women have that capability of being able to recover really, really fast. And so like even if you're lifting a fairly heavy weight, the gals are pretty much recovered. They're ready to go by the time it rolls around 2 minutes on the bench press, the squats, the deadlifts. They're bored. So most women, you'll find, will be very, very much ADHD in the lifting scenario. So guys are fine doing lots of heavy sets and kind of going in, hitting a heavy set of bench, walking around, breathing it out, and then going back into the bench after about a minute or 2 minute rest break. Versus a lot of women, they're so endurance driven and they can't lift the huge amounts of weight that men can. They're ready to go fairly quickly. So I find supersets to be the ultimate solution in that sort of scenario. Not only that, but the potential for fat loss and a little bit of extra conditioning with supersetting makes it a very viable intensity modifier that you can do all the time in order to overall lose a lot more body fat because you're doing more work, and you can make things a little bit more fun and challenging. So now here's how to set up supersets correctly. Okay, basically you want either a agonist and antagonist pair. So like think agonist for bicep curls would be bicep and antagonist would be your triceps. So you're going to do 2 exercises back to back. I'm going to do a bicep curl and I'm going to do a skull crusher. So I have that little example down here. Now this works really well because you got 2 small muscle groups. They can go pretty fast, pretty heavy. I mean, you really don't need to take a break in between those. Most people that are in condition should be able to do that pretty easily without overall frying out their overall systemic nervous system and their muscles and cardiovascular capacity. So now, some of the bigger exercises you can also superset, but granted, you have to grade these with a grain of salt, right? You don't want to throw big exercises in and going stupid heavy all the time. Or if you do, choose one to be your heavy exercise and choose one to be a light exercise. So like if you're doing squats and stiff-legged deadlifts, as I have written up on the board here, 10 sets and 10 sets, that's not really a heavy load, so to say. You know, it might be tough, but it's not going to be super heavy on the overall nervous system and loading the tissues. If I were to do, be going for a heavy double or a heavy triple, and I wanted to do stiff-legged deadlifts with heavy doubles and heavy triples, that would probably be a no-no. I mean, like, you're just combining too many different elements and with compromise, your form's going to falter and you're going to get hurt. So, but you can do this if you go fairly heavy, take a shorter, a little bit longer break, and then superset into the stiff-legged deadlifts with a fairly lighter weight. That I think is probably the best solution. Or pairing a big exercise with a smaller exercise. So say I want to do the squats, but I'm going to do them with a 2 to 3 rep max, close thereof, and then I want to throw in some leg raises or a plank, something that's really low key, that's not going to tax them out too much. So it's more like an active recovery. I mean, like I can easily do a heavy set of squats, breathe it out, and then go do a set of hanging abs. So granted, your conditioning level is going to have to build up to that portion, but it's not overall going to compromise the system. And then again, if you're training for strength, that's the wrong way to do it. You don't want to superset those. So maybe leaving those big exercises out and then supersetting some of your smaller exercises is the right idea. So we can also do this with upper body movements, bench press, bent rows. I love that combo. It works extremely well. You know, you've got a push exercise and a pull exercise. So you can do it for the shoulders, you can do it for the upper back. Lower back abdominals is always a good split, you know, instead of reverse hypers or back extensions, and then supersetting some form of flexion exercise in there, or static core, even anti-rotational core works really well for those. So in the written out section, I'll show you some of my favorite supersets that I do, but I mean, the mix-up is completely variable for choosing exercises. You just have to think outside the box a little bit and make sure that you're being very safe with choosing your exercises. Like I said before, you want to keep the goal. If the goal is fat loss, then supersets work great. If the goal is muscle gain, then supersets work awesome. If the goal is overall absolute strength or even improving relative strength, then maybe they're not such a good idea. Here's a good point on supersets. It's often cool to do a heavy barbell exercise and then follow it with a body weight exercise as kind of like an active recovery method. So say I didn't want to do bench press, say I wanted to focus on the bent row for sets of 6 to 8, okay, that's fairly heavy, but I could easily throw in a set of push-ups at the end there just to kind of get the shoulders, chest, and triceps all fired up, and yeah, that works really well. I got my heavy overall loaded movement, and then I'm down in a stable plank position and I'm busting out some push-ups to fry up my upper body even more. So overall, supersets are one of my most used intensity modifiers, simply because it saves on time, you get a lot more work done, extra conditioning effect, plus the extra muscle building stimulus they work awesome. So, Captain Smash up. If you like this video, give it a like, and if somebody else might like it, give it a share. We'll chat with you soon.